Welcome to the AI podcast at DigitVIEW.
We're continuing our exploration of AI pattern recognition.
Imagine an AI that's not just, an assistant or some tool you use, but a true cognitive extension of you.
Right. Something deeply integrated.
Exactly. A system giving you unprecedented visibility into your own life in real time, constantly analyzing, explaining the patterns. This isn't sci-fi anymore. It's a concept called the reality AI.
And it's a fascinating one.
Today, we're diving deep into a really groundbreaking report looking at this idea. It's pretty ambitious, proposing an AI that goes way beyond just automating tasks.
It's about helping navigate complexity.
Right.
Mirroring how we adapt.
That's the core idea. So this deep dive will explore the architecture, the potential impact on your life day to day, and crucially, the big ethical questions it throws up.
There are definitely a few of those.
Our mission today is really to unpack this. It touches on computer science, psychology, economics, ethics.
It's very multidisciplinary.
We want to give you a comprehensive, nuanced understanding of something that could genuinely redefine the whole human-AI relationship. So, okay, let's get into it. For this reality AI to actually perceive your world, where does it even start? How does an AI begin to see your reality?
Well, it all starts with something really fundamental. Real-time pattern recognition. That's the engine. That's what lets the AI spot regularities, trends, recurring structures in all sorts of data, visual, sound, text, numbers, turning raw input into something meaningful for you.
Okay, so it's like a detective, but super-powered, spotting clues everywhere. What's the actual process? How does it work?
It generally follows a four-stage technical pipeline. First up is data collection. And think continuous ingestion. Massive amounts of high-quality data. Wearables, public records, communication.
Wow, okay.
The richness of that input, that's absolutely key. Second is feature extraction. Here, the system figures out the most relevant bits, like edges in a picture or keywords in text. It simplifies things.
Reduces the noise,
Yeah.
basically.
Exactly. Cuts down the complexity. Then, stage 3, pattern detection. This is where algorithms find the non-obvious links, the anomalies, maybe segmenting customer groups or spotting unusual activity in your health data.
Okay, finding the signal.
Right. And finally, classification and decision-making. Assigning new data to known groups and then acting, like flagging a risky transaction or, alerting you to a health anomaly.
That is a lot of data, though, and so diverse. How does one system handle all that without getting confused?
Yeah, a single algorithm just wouldn't cut it, not for this kind of complexity. So the reality AI would need to use hybrid approaches, combining different models.
Like what kind of models?
Well, you might use statistical methods. Hidden Markov models are good for things like speech recognition. There may be structural methods for analyzing social networks, and definitely neural networks. Things like CNN's convolutional neural networks, great for images, or RNN's recurrent neural networks for sequential stuff like text or time series. Yeah. By blending them, the system gets much better accuracy, and it becomes more adaptable to messy, real-world situations.
And this is where it gets really interesting for me. This isn't just a static program crunching numbers, right? The report talks about it mirroring our own ability to adjust.
Exactly. This isn't just an upgrade. It's framed as a paradigm shift to adaptive AI. Traditional AI, it relies on fixed algorithms. If the world changes, you need someone to manually retrain it.
Right.
The reality AI is designed to constantly learn from live data, from feedback loops. It automatically adjusts its own behavior. No human intervention needed for that adaptation part.
And it even has this biological analogy, doesn't it? Like our brains.
It does, and that raises a really important question. How does it learn continuously without just forgetting everything it learned before?
Yeah, that would be bad.
Very bad. It's inspired by neuroplasticity, the brain's amazing ability to adapt, learn new things, but still hold on to old knowledge. The AI equivalent is continual learning. See, a huge problem for deep learning models is something called catastrophic forgetting. New training can just wipe out the old knowledge. For a system supposed to manage aspects of your life potentially over decades, that's an existential flaw. It can't forget who you are, fundamentally.
Absolutely.
So continual learning, by streaming data in bit by bit using techniques like transfer learning, it ensures the AI adapts to a world that's always changing in a constant state of flux without losing that core understanding of you.
So, okay. It sees, it learns, it adapts. That's huge. But How does it tell us what it's thinking? If it's going to be a cognitive extension, we really need to understand its reasoning, don't we?
That's absolutely right. And that's where explainable AI, or XAI, becomes, well, imperative. It's non-negotiable, really. For the reality AI to be truly effective, it can't just spot patterns and make predictions. It has to explain why.
Right.
That explanation gives you the intellectual oversight you need to understand it, to validate it, and crucially, to trust it, especially when the stakes are high, like in healthcare decisions or, say, law enforcement applications.
I've definitely heard people call complex AIs black boxes. It sounds like XAI is trying to shine a light inside. How do we actually do that?
Yeah, many advanced models are effectively black boxes. Their internal logic is just too complex for a human to follow directly. So XAI techniques like LIME or SHEP, they kind of bridge that gap. They work after the model is trained to give you insights.
How does something like LIME work?
Well, LIME, for instance, tries to explain one specific prediction. It does this by approximating the complex model's behavior locally, just around that single data point, with a much simpler interpretable model. So you get an explanation for that decision, even if the whole system is incredibly complex.
Ah, okay. Like a localized explanation.
Exactly. And these techniques are vital for debugging, finding hidden biases, even for legal compliance, like the GDPR's right to explanation.
But this raises a question for me. If we simplify an explanation to make it understandable, does it lose accuracy? Is there a trade-off happening there?
There absolutely is. It's an inherent trade-off, really, between a model's complexity, which usually means higher accuracy on complex data, and its interpretability.
Makes sense.
Simpler models like linear regression or decision trees, they're easy to understand but might not capture all the nuances. Complex neural networks, super accurate potentially, but very hard to interpret.
So where do you draw the line?
Well, that's not just technical, it's an ethical choice. And it really depends on the context. Think medical diagnosis. For spotting a stroke, maybe accuracy is paramount. The public might accept a bit less interpretability for higher diagnostic accuracy.
Okay.
But in criminal justice, fairness, transparency, avoiding bias, explainability becomes incredibly valuable there, maybe even worth sacrificing a tiny bit of predictive power for.
Wait a minute. The report mentions something about explanations actually being bad sometimes. Explainability pitfalls. How can an explanation be bad?
Yes, that's a fascinating point. Just providing an explanation isn't automatically a good thing. It doesn't always build genuine trust. And it can sometimes lead to these unexpected negative effects, these explainability pitfalls or EPs.
Like what?
Well, it's not usually about the AI trying to deceive you. It's more subtle, like you might develop misplaced trust just because an explanation exists, even if it's superficial. Or you might overestimate the AI's general capabilities based on one good explanation. Or maybe you stop questioning its outputs critically.
Ah, I see. So the explanation itself can make us complacent.
It can. So a truly successful reality AI would need a dynamic XAI framework, one that's context-aware. It should tailor the explanation to your level of expertise and the risks involved in that specific situation.
Right.
The goal isn't just to provide an explanation, it's to empower you to understand better, make better decisions, and critically, to know when to question the AI's output.
Okay, let's pivot a bit. We've talked about the how it sees, learns, explains. Let's talk about the what. Imagine this AI living with you, day in, day out. How would the reality AI actually show up across your life?
Well, it really starts at the individual level. Think about health. We already have wearables, smartwatches, rings collecting loads of data, vitals, activity, sleep.
Right, I wear one myself.
Exactly. The reality AI could shift healthcare from being reactive, treating illness after it happens, to being truly proactive. Take a continuous glucose monitor, a CGM, for diabetes management. Integrated with this AI, it could give predictive alerts for glucose trends before they become problematic, offer personalized diet tips based on your real-time data, even potentially integrate with automated insulin pumps for a closed-loop system.
Wow.
It moves way beyond just tracking numbers to actually managing your health in a personalized, predictive way.
And how does it do all that instantly and keep that sensitive health data private?
That's where Edge AI becomes absolutely critical.
Okay, explain Edge AI.
So instead of sending all your raw, sensitive health data up to some remote cloud server for processing, Edge AI means the processing happens locally, right there on your device, your watch, your phone.
Ah, okay, on the edge of the network.
Precisely. This is crucial for real-time stuff where milliseconds count, like detecting a heart rhythm issue or maybe a sudden fall. You need that instant response.
Makes sense.
And critically, it massively boosts privacy. Your raw, sensitive data stays on your device. Only relevant alerts or maybe anonymized summaries get sent out. If anything, the core data doesn't leave your control.
But here's a really surprising twist the report brought up, the AI assessment effect. The idea that just knowing an AI is assessing us can change how we act. What's going on there?
It's a fascinating psychological phenomenon. The mere knowledge, the awareness that you're being evaluated by an AI can lead people to behave differently, often unconsciously. Well, there seems to be a widespread belief, maybe a perception, that AI prioritizes analytical traits, logic, data, that kind of thing. So when people know an AI is watching, they might subtly adapt. They might play up their analytical side, downplay emotional or creative qualities, trying to perform for the AI in a way.
Huh. That's weirdly unsettling.
It is, and the paradox is huge. You have a system designed to understand authentic human patterns.
That could inadvertently make us act inauthentically.
Exactly. And if you scale that up, you risk an unintentional loss of diversity in thinking styles if everyone starts conforming to what they think the AI wants. That's a massive ethical and design challenge for the reality AI. How do you observe without altering the very thing you're observing?
Moving beyond our personal bubble then, what about something like education? How would this AI impact learning?
Oh, the potential in education is enormous. The reality AI could revolutionize it by creating truly personalized learning paths. AI platforms could adapt the difficulty of coursework in real time based on your progress, pinpoint specific learning gaps you have, offer tailored content recommendations right when you need them.
We're already seeing glimpses of this, aren't we?
We are. Universities are using AI as virtual teaching assistants to handle common questions, freeing up human instructors, or using predictive models to identify students who might be struggling, allowing for early intervention. It helps educators, and it empowers you, the learner, to take more control.
That sounds amazing for catching up or getting specific help, but what's the downside? The report mentioned a risk of cognitive offloading. What's that?
This brings up another really important question. While having instant answers and understanding seems great, it can lead to cognitive offloading. That's where you basically delegate thinking tasks to an external tool, like the AI.
Like using GPS instead of learning the route.
Kind of like that, yeah. It reduces your own engagement in deep, reflective thinking. Why bother struggling with a concept if the AI can just explain it instantly? And there's research suggesting a negative link between frequent AI tool use and critical thinking skills.
So the tool meant to make us smarter might actually dull our own thinking.
That's the paradox. A tool designed for efficiency could inadvertently erode the very cognitive skills, critical analysis, problem solving that define human intelligence. For the reality AI to be genuinely beneficial in education, it needs to be designed to foster intellectual engagement, not just provide easy answers. It needs to prompt deeper thinking.
And taking an even bigger step back, what about society as a whole? Governance, policy?
Yeah, on that larger scale, the reality AI could be transformative for informing policy and governance. Think about AI tools continuously monitoring global events, public sentiment shifts, trade dynamics, environmental changes. They can do this at speeds and scales way beyond human capacity.
Providing real-time insights.
Exactly. Real-time insights for more agile decision-making by governments or organizations, better scenario planning. It can even help reduce human bias in areas like economic forecasting by relying more heavily on data-driven patterns instead of gut feelings or political leanings.
This is clearly more than just another piece of software. It feels like a whole new ecosystem of tech and human interaction. What kind of new tools or maybe even job roles might emerge from this?
Well, you could see highly personalized AI assistants becoming commonplace, not generic ones, but assistants trained specifically on your unique data. They could potentially mirror your voice, your writing style, even your opinions to some extent.
Like a true digital twin.
Getting closer to that, yes. Digital extensions of the mind, as some put it. User-owned, private, maybe even storing your core moral and ethical principles to filter information according to your values.
Wow. And that edge AI you mentioned for health, is that also fundamental for these personalized assistants?
Absolutely critical. That whole vision of real-time, immediate understanding, it fundamentally relies on edge AI.
Because of the speed.
Speed is huge, yes. It eliminates the latency you get sending data back and forth to the cloud. For health monitoring, the report notes, even a few milliseconds of delay could compromise safety.
Right.
But just as importantly, edge AI is the ethical bedrock here. It enhances privacy massively by keeping your sensitive raw data processed locally on your device. Only necessary alerts or summaries go out. This really helps mitigate the risks of mass surveillance or data breaches in the cloud.
Okay, the unavoidable question then. Jobs. With AI this capable, this integrated, is the reality AI coming for our jobs?
It's the elephant in the room, isn't it? Look, reports, like one from Goldman Sachs that's mentioned, they do project some workforce displacement. They estimated maybe 6–7% of the U.S. workforce could be affected initially. But, and this is key, they see that impact as likely being transitory.
Meaning temporary.
Meaning temporary, yeah. Disappearing within a few years as people find new roles. The bigger picture isn't really about eliminating jobs wholesale. It's about redefining them.
Which jobs are most at risk?
Generally roles that are highly repetitive, data-heavy, predictable. Those are most susceptible to automation. But simultaneously, we're seeing a huge surge in demand for new roles directly tied to AI. Machine learning engineers, obviously. Prompt engineers crafting the right instructions for AIs, AI ethics officers, compliance specialists.
So it's less about replacement, more about partnership.
Exactly. It's a shift beyond simple automation towards a truly synergistic partnership.
Right.
We're talking about agentic AI systems. AI that can act autonomously, understand context, adapt, learn continuously.
Sure.
This partnership combines human strengths, creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence with AI strengths, speed, data processing, pattern recognition. It frees humans up for higher-level strategic thinking, creativity, complex problem solving.
So we'll need new skills.
Definitely. The future workforce needs hybrid skill sets, blending technical know-how with those crucial human-centric skills, empathy, collaboration, ethical judgment, things AI, at least currently, really lacks.
Okay, but let's face it. A system that knows everything about your life, learns from it constantly, operates in real time. That sounds inherently risky, a bit scary even. What are the biggest dangers here?
You're right to be cautious. The number one concern is probably the data dilemma: privacy, security, and surveillance. The reality, AI would, by definition, collect absolutely vast amounts of incredibly sensitive data: health, finances, communications, locations, behaviors.
A hacker's dream target.
A big bullseye, as the report puts it. A massive target for cyber attackers. Beyond security breaches, there's the risk of data being collected without truly informed consent or used for purposes you never agreed to. And fundamentally, a system monitoring all activities at all activity levels, well, it inherently raises the specter of unchecked surveillance. Potential for misuse is huge.
So how do we even begin to protect ourselves? What are the guardrails?
It demands a security-first, privacy-preserving architecture from the ground up. It can't be an afterthought. This means things like developing privacy-preserving surveillance tech, maybe focusing on behavioral analysis rather than invasive biometrics like face recognition, techniques for anonymizing identity wherever possible, strict policies on data deletion, not holding on to data forever.
And edge AI again.
And edge AI, yes, playing a crucial role. Keeping that raw, sensitive data on your device is a major privacy win. It drastically reduces the attack surface and the potential for misuse of centralized data stores.
The report also highlights a major hurdle for that vision of this AI benefiting everyone, all genders, all age groups, and that's algorithmic bias. It feels like bias can creep in so easily, even unintentionally. Can you unpack that a bit more?
Yeah, it's a really insidious problem. Algorithmic bias is when these systems systematically produce unintended discriminatory results. Often, it's not deliberate prejudice coded in. It stems from the data used to train the AI. If that data reflects existing societal biases or is skewed or unrepresentative, the AI learns those biases.
Or the developer's own unconscious biases.
That too. Developers' assumptions can inadvertently shape the algorithms in biased ways. And we've seen devastating real-world examples. A major healthcare risk algorithm was found to be racially biased because it used healthcare spending as a proxy for health need. Black patients often spend less for various reasons, so the algorithms systematically underestimated their needs.
Yeah.
Or facial recognition systems that are notoriously less accurate for people of color, especially women, because the training data sets were overwhelmingly white and male. So what seems like a technical glitch has profound discriminatory societal impacts. It completely undermines the idea of a fair, universally beneficial system if we don't actively combat it.
So with this system this powerful, this pervasive, potentially biased, who's ultimately in charge? Who's accountable? How do we manage the ethics?
That's the million-dollar question, maybe $1 billion. A comprehensive governance framework is absolutely paramount. We have to figure this out. We need clarity on responsibility. If the AI makes a harmful decision, who's accountable? The company that made it, the developer who coded that part, the person using it.
Complex.
Very. The AI systems themselves need to be auditable, transparent, so we can assign accountability when things go wrong. And there are broader societal issues, too. The environmental costs these systems are incredibly resource-intensive to train and run, and the potential for emotional harm. What happens if people form deep, intimate bonds with these AIs? Or if the AIs are used to subtly manipulate emotions or behaviors?
Big questions.
Huge. Ultimately, we need a robust, human-centric ethical framework built on core principles: respect for human autonomy, prevention of harm, fairness, and explainability. The success of something like the Reality AI won't come from just letting it run wild in the name of automation. It depends entirely on continuous human judgment, oversight, and ethical guidance at every stage.
So this deep dive into the Reality AI, it's shown us something pretty profound, I think, a real evolution in how we might relate to technology. From its core ability to see and learn in real time to that absolute need for it to explain itself, we've seen how it could weave itself into almost every part of life.
Well, we've also really hit on those paradoxes, haven't we? The system meant to understand authenticity, potentially driving inauthenticity, the tool for learning, possibly hindering deep thought, and how technical issues like biased data aren't just technical. They have deep, real-world social consequences we have to tackle head-on.
So what does this all mean for you listening? The Reality AI, if it comes to pass, isn't really about achieving perfect automation, is it? It seems to be about demanding a future built on responsible, human-centric design. It needs to be adaptive, edge-focused, explainable, built to truly augment us, not diminish us.
Exactly. Developing something like the Reality AI is this incredible opportunity, not just to build a powerful tool, but to consciously, purposefully shape a future. A future where technology genuinely amplifies our best capabilities, fiercely protects our autonomy, and maybe even helps us foster a more nuanced understanding of ourselves, of the human condition, always keeping human well-being right at the center.
So here's a final thought to maybe mull over. Is the ultimate goal here for us humans just to be perfectly understood by an AI? Or is it something bigger? Is it for both humans and AI to evolve together, maybe in a symbiotic relationship that truly benefits humanity, benefits the world, and actually deepens what it even means to be human? Something to think about as you navigate your own reality.
Thank you for joining us for this broadcast.
Searching for answers to unanswered questions.
This is DigitView.